All right, hey VC, I'm Jamie. Welcome back. We're back with another video. I'm back with a vinyl tag response for this one. This is for Chris and Blues Guy Vinyl, the authority for blues on the vinyl community. Chris has got a great channel. I'll leave a link to his channel and his post on the Blues Vinyl Tag 2021. Chris has got 20 questions for you, spotlighting your blues collection. So let's get to it. Question number one: Zap an electric blues album. Now, obviously there's lots to choose from, but if I'm thinking electric blues, I'm thinking electric guitar turned up to 11, maybe some great slide boogie going on. Gonna go with George Thorogood and the Destroyers debut album on Rounder Records, and features one bourbon, one scotch, and one beer. Just great electric guitar work from George Thorogood. Question number two: an acoustic blues album. Great acoustic blues performer. I'm gonna go with Lightning Hopkins. This is a reissue, obviously, from 1959 solo recordings by Sam Lightning Hopkins, just vocals and guitar, and just a wonderful performer. He also played electric guitar, but I really think of him, or he's quite noted for his acoustic guitar work. And yeah, Lightning Hopkins for sure. Question number three: Whoopee, a live blues album. Great blues performer, B.B. King. This is his double live album, now appearing at Ole Miss. Now, is this B.B. King's best live album? It's one you don't see too often, but it's a double album, so anytime you get a double album from B.B. King live is always a good thing. And performing at the University of Mississippi. So B.B. King, this is from 1980 on MCA, B.B. King, and now appearing at Ole Miss. Okay, next question is question number four. Show a gatefold or double album. Now, if you're talking about a double album, what an amazing achievement. Canned Heat and John Lee Hooker, the double album, Hooker and Heat. And as you can see, this is a previously well-enjoyed copy. The album cover is very worn, but what an amazing listen. It's an amazing blues journey, and just an incredible collaboration with Canned Heat and John Lee Hooker. And to put this out as a double album is just amazing. So much material on this one, and absolutely terrific. Okay, next question is your oldest album by year or how long you've had it. So if we're going by year in terms of early blues on vinyl, for me it's Robert Johnson, and this is the complete collection, and of course featuring Robert Johnson's great recordings from, I believe the year was 1937. Now on CD, I definitely have much older stuff than this, certainly from Columbia or OK label, but in terms of vinyl so far, it's Robert Johnson and the complete collection. Okay, and then question six: your newest album or more recent find. I featured this just recently on one of my vinyl find videos. I've been able to come across Johnny Winter, and a great cover on this one, and Guitar Slinger, and this one's still in the shrink, and pretty happy to pick up any Johnny Winter, any and all Johnny Winter for sure. Okay, question number seven is show a Blues 45 RPM. Wasn't sure if I was going to be able to show you anything, but I do have Yardbirds and Heart Full of Soul, and this on the Capital Swirly label. Now, not exactly, hardcore blues, but the Yardbirds were a rhythm and blues band, really the emphasis on blues, and Heart Full of Soul. The flip side is a Jeff Beck instrumental called Steeled Blues, and as you can see, this 45 is definitely well worn, but the Yardbirds and Heart Full of Soul. Show a Blues 10-inch. I do have Jeff Healey. This is Jeff Healey and the Heal My Soul bonus sessions, 10-inch, and the late great Jeff Healey, great to blues rock, but a wonderful blues performer. And he does have a track on here called CNI Blues, and CNIB would be the Canadian National Institute of the Blind, and just a nifty little 10-inch for Jeff Healey. Okay, a Chess Records label. Now, if you're blues, if you like the blues, even if you have just a couple of blues albums, likely you have a Chess Records label. So I'm going to show Howlin' Wolf. This is the London Sessions, the great album featuring Eric Clapton, Steve Winwood, Bill Wyman, and Charlie Watts. And this is such a fun album to listen to. Again, just the collaborations, and just amazing when you have these wonderful British artists getting a chance to work with Howlin' Wolf, to learn from Howlin' Wolf. And of course, a nice gatefold on this one. Just amazing. You know, to work with your idol like that must have been so amazing. And on the chest label, I do love the chest label, and this is a nice variation on it. And the chest label. Okay, moving right along. How about a Delmark Records label? I don't have anything from Delmark. I wasn't able to do that one. Question 11, show an Alligator Records label. Showed this one just recently. This is an Alligators compilation, genuine house rock and music. And check out the artists featured on this one. You got Johnny Winter, Coco Taylor, Albert Collins. We've got Roy Buchanan. Oh, incredible. Absolutely incredible. Lonnie Max on this one. And on the great Alligator label. Okay. Show a smaller indie blues label. Not maybe necessarily a real small label, but one that doesn't often get spotlighted is the Bluesway label. They were distributed through ABC Records, but check out some of the artists on this. This is a double album sampler, but gosh, you got like Jimmy Reed, B.B. King, Otis Spann, like T-Bone Walker. Just amazing. The Bluesway label. And this is a really nice double album sampler. And since we're talking about the Bluesway label, let's give you a show what that looks like. The Bluesway label on ABC. Okay, a blues album in a regional style, city, area, or country. And I'm going to go with Texas blues, and a special shout out to ZZ Top that often don't get the props for some of the great Texas blues, especially the early stuff, and Rio Grande Mud. Their second album, I believe, but ZZ Top, great stuff. Okay, and we have question 14, which is show a psych blues album, man. Now, I went back and forth on this one. You know, so many to choose from. I'm going to go with some real heavy blues, heavy psych blues with Cream and Disraeli Gears, of course, featuring Eric Clapton, Jack Bruce, Ginger Baker. I mean, heavy blues for this band, Cream and Disraeli Gears. And speaking of Eric Clapton, question number 15, show a British blues album, mate. And this is the one that just comes to mind immediately. Blues Breakers, John Mayall with Eric Clapton and the famous Beano comic book there, but an absolute classic. Can't go wrong with that one. Okay, continuing on, an album by a king of the blues, King in their name. I've really been enjoying Freddie King, and this is Freddie King, Texas Soil, Federal Recordings, 1960 to 1962. Really enjoy Freddie King. Okay, an album in delicious color. Wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do this because I don't really have anything from the blues, at least in terms of colored vinyl. I've got 180-gram reissues, that sort of thing. But I'm going to submit this one, submitted for your approval. Now, I know this is not a blues album. It is a jazz album. But hear me on this one. It's a jazz album, often considered one of the best jazz albums of all time. But when you listen to it, the blues, or the feeling of the blues, really goes through this entire album. We're talking about Miles Davis and Kind of Blue, and this is from a box set, and you know, I had to show a box set somewhere in this process, but so this is a box set reissue on Kind of Blues, and yes, it's a jazz album, but especially even when you're listening to the first track, So What, there's just such a feeling of the blues that goes through this whole album. So this is it's a CD and a vinyl release, and the vinyl is in color blue. So again, yes, it's not a blues album for sure. Great jazz album, but for that, I'll submit that one. Okay, question 18, a friend had the blues and you caught it too, a recommendation. Definitely Peter Green, a good friend of mine, Bill, introduced me to the world of Peter Green. I don't have much Peter Green on vinyl. I've got a fair bit on CD now. I got a great Peter Green CD box set, but also, again, opening me up to the world of early Fleetwood Mac with Peter Green. And this was really the launching point. Fleetwood Mac in Chicago. Incredible double album, again, you know, working with their idols, Otis Spann, Willie Dixon, Shaky Horton, J.T. Brown, Guitar Buddy, or Buddy Miles, or Buddy Guy, sorry, and Honey Boy Edwards and S.P. Leary. So just an incredible double album in the studios, working with amazing people like Buddy Guy. And really just really launched me into the early Fleetwood Mac, especially, you know, the first couple of albums. Just incredible. So good. Okay, carrying on, we have question 19, Eureka, a glorious find or discovery. This was from one of the last Record Store Day drops. This was Rory Gallagher and Cleveland Calling. So this was recorded live on a radio station in Cleveland. And this was back in, I want to say, 1972. Live broadcast on WNCR FM, Cleveland, Ohio, August 7th, 1972. And it just features Roy Gallagher in a nice, intimate acoustic setting. Now, there's some dialogue and interview stuff on here that some people don't really care for. They just want the music. But I was really impressed with this. And I understand there's going to be a volume 2 of Cleveland Calling, supposed to be in one of the next Record Store Day drops, but really enjoyed coming across this, especially, Rory Gallagher for a Record Store Day. It's hard to know if it's going to be there or not, and then somebody picks it up before you, sort of thing. So I was pretty happy to come across that one. And finally, question number 20 is the first blues album that you remember getting. I think. I do like the I think on here. For me, one of the first ones I really listened to and enjoyed, a friend of mine had B.B. King live at the Regal, and which is such a great blues album. But then one of the first ones that I wound up buying, I believe it was on cassette, was The Best of Muddy Waters, and wound up getting it later on CD, and only fairly recently was able to get it on vinyl. And this is obviously a 180 gram reissue, but The Best of Muddy Waters, not a bad place to start for sure. But for me, it was definitely one of my early purchases on cassette, as I recall. What has ever happened to the cassette? It's long gone over time. So that's going to wrap things up for this one. Again, big shout out to Chris at Blues Guy Vinyl. I'll leave a link to Chris's channel, and a great Blues Vinyl Tag 2021. And enjoy. Take care. Bye-bye.